think what you said's true. I've heard that rhetoric too of don't follow your passion. It's a waste of time. It's bad advice. And I think what people get confused is your passion with doing what you like all the time, every day. There are lots of things I have to do every day that I don't like,
yeah.
but they help me do what I'm passionate about.
Exactly.
And I think it gets confusing when people are like, well, do your passion means every day, all the time, you'll just be doing what you love. And I'm like, well, that's not true, because I have to do plenty of things I don't love in order to do what I do love.
And that's why you've got to use discipline. You know,
Yeah.
you've got to use discipline to keep you organized and consistent on certain things that maybe aren't as fun.
Yeah.
We'd all love to sit around and play games all day,
Yeah.
you know, but it takes discipline to see a meaningful mission come to fruition.
Yeah.
And I think that's the key. When you get clear, a lot of people that aren't clear on their meaningful mission for this season of life, they're confused, they get depressed, they have stress, they have overwhelm, they feel lost, they feel frustrated, they feel like something's off. And it's because you're not clear on the meaningful mission for this season of life. And so that's why it's just so important to get clear on what you want and how you want to include others in this season.
Yeah. And I love how you keep saying season of life, because it's not like you've got to find your meaningful mission for the rest of your entire life.
No, and I think that is too much pressure for
How
people.
long is a season? Like how long? How much time do you think people should
there's
think about
different
it?
types of seasons, and I look at it as sports.
Yeah.
In sports, in a year,
You're an athlete.
in
so,
a year, there's 4 seasons in the year of fall, summer, spring, winter. In sports, there is a preseason, a season, postseason, and the playoffs, right? There's kind of these 4 seasonal moments. And there's always time to reflect on, okay, I did this thing for 9 months or a year. Do I still want to keep doing this thing, right? Take time to reflect. You take a month off every year to reflect what worked.
I just came back from it.
You just came back.
It was amazing.
And you look relaxed.
It was amazing.
Sometimes we're so in it all the time that we don't have the moment to reflect on, am I still excited about this? Is it still what I want to do? Do I feel like there's a new season coming for me? Like, am I shedding something and stepping into something that I'm ready for now? Just like this book, it wasn't the right season 5 years ago. I didn't feel like I had figured out what I needed to figure out internally to be authentically sharing the message that I have now. And I felt like I would have been a fake if it came out years ago. I knew the concepts, but I didn't know it inside of me.
How did you know? Like, that's a great point, right? Like, I feel like there's a lot of people listening. They want to launch a podcast. They want to write a book. They want to build a new idea inside their company. They want to take a new idea to their boss. They want to start something fresh and new in their area. They want to start a charity, right? Whatever it may be. And I think there's always that period of not feeling ready and then doing it. And I feel like that's the part where most people are stuck. Where, like, in their head, if you talk to them, and I'll talk to lots of people, they kind of know what the logo looks like, and they're kind of thinking about the website, or they kind of put a bit of the presentation for their boss together and they're thinking about it. But what's the difference, or what is the right way to go about feeling ready or getting ready even when you don't feel it, right? Like, because you didn't want to wait 10 years,
Exactly.
but you didn't want to wait 5 days, right? Like, how did you, And obviously this is a book, so it's a bigger thing. It takes more time.
I think there's this concept that we've all heard that is like, face it until you, what is it? No, fake it till you make it, right? That's the concept. Fake it till you make it is what a lot of people hear. And I really started to think about, I don't really like that.
Yeah, neither do
And
I.
I think it should be face it until you embrace it, right? Or face it until you embody it. And so when we take the concept in the greatness mindset of, okay, writing down a list of your fears, your fear list, then you face the fear until you embody and overcome that fear, until you embrace it, you embody it, and it doesn't have power over you anymore. And really, for me, it's about having the perception of, like, it just kind of depends what you value in life. So many times for me, I think about how much I could die at any moment. You know, I think that my life could be over at any moment. Will I be proud of who I am if I didn't launch this thing that's been inside of me for a while? I knew on this, I didn't have the fear of writing a book, right? That wasn't a fear of mine, where a lot of people, they have a book idea for 10 or 20 years and they just never launched the thing.
Yeah.
That wasn't my fear. My fear was being, like, inauthentic
Yes.
to who I was and being I don't know, is it a liar or just not feeling like, okay, something was off inside of me. I don't want to put something out there. And so I knew, okay, I know this book is going to be my best work ever, but I don't feel like I'm the right messenger yet to put it out there. So what do I need to face until I can embrace the person I want to be able to put this out there?
Got it.
And that to me was after 2.5 years of researching this book and taking tons of notes and interviewing experts, and me checking in with me at the end of every year, being like, why am I still talking about wanting to write this book, but not having the courage? That's when the therapy and the coaching sessions and diving in deep into my wounds and the emotional traumas, I was like, I need to face this part of me that I'm still afraid of. That was the thing on my fear list that I had resisted for decades. And when I faced it and felt like, wow, I'm actually able to feel healing. I'm actually able to feel calm around this situation in my life. In other areas, I felt calm, but not this situation. I'm actually been facing it consistently every week and doing the work emotionally, revealing myself and exercising and coaching and getting feedback and all that stuff. Then when I felt freedom internally, that's when I was able to create and launch.
Yeah, that's a great insight. I think a lot of us are hoping that our fear will just go away, or like you said, we just try and fake it and then it doesn't feel right or it doesn't align with us. And really what you're saying is you have to face the fear. There's no other way. There's not like a different route or there's not a different pathway.
And you can't out analyze the fear.
Yes.
You know
Right.
You can't just
figure out.
I understand the concept. You've got to experience it.
Yeah, and
internally.
that's scary.
Horrifying.
Yeah,
it's horrifying.
Yeah,
it's something that held me back for decades, and it's what causes us as human beings to repeat the same patterns of familiarity.
Yeah,
we get stuck in patterns that are familiar, even when we know it's not right.
Yeah,
this is why you hear so many people, specifically women, who say, "On my wedding day, I knew it wasn't right. Like I knew something was off." When like 3, 4, 5 years later, they got divorced and you ask them, did you ever think something was off? They were like, on my wedding day, I had a feeling, but I was afraid. I was afraid to let people down. Everyone was already there. The invitations were sent. We had already put the deposit down. I didn't want to ruffle feathers and I thought maybe we'd just try to make it work. A lot of us have that fear of letting others down. And that's the thing that holds a lot of people back.